They're about to say we're back for real.
We're back for real. Little do they know.
Jeez. You say you don't even listen to no new music no more. Like you didn't even
hear
any of those songs.
Man.
Like I listen to Flow.
Yeah.
And that song Gallus comes on all the time.
Okay. Shout out to Blake Carter on that one then.
Literally, that's yeah. Peter Cash and Blake Carter. That's what I was listening to earlier.
Okay.
That song is 2 minutes long, and I'm like still surprised that the boy hasn't like stole it. Because I'm telling you, that song was made for the boy, and it has the sample, the back that ass up sample that's like super low key about it too.
Let me ask you, what accent does he do on that one? Give him the classic Toronto man, or does he?
It's Toronto man, but like. Yeah, you can't go too much in the Toronto man / UK kind of whatever. You gotta go more Jamaican. You gotta lead in Jamaican. The song's called Gallus. Come on now. This man like Gallus. You want she and she and she.
Jeez.
Not with the hype.
Baby. Don't even trip.
Okay. Hit him with the freestyle. Hey. It's different in person, man. I'm telling you. Y'all gotta get these vibes, yo.
Think I got my swagger back.
That's facts. I think I got it back.
Let's go. Yes,
the best part about us potting in person again was the fact that like before I could say like, yo, hopefully we can squeeze in another in-person thing and before we go to LA was you were like, I was thinking I was going to come back to the burbs.
That's what I'm saying. I was like, yo, I'm ready, man. I'll make that trip. I'll make that commute, yo.
It was fun last time. Especially since we had fun after. That definitely helped the vibe.
Oh, yeah. Definitely helped the vibe. But it's always good to be back in person, man. Like, you know what I mean? It's been a long time and we here, man. So let's enjoy it. You know what I mean?
Until we can get you over to LA and we can do it over there. I'm telling you, it could be really fun. I'm just
fly me out, man.
Stop going to Vancouver and go to LA.
Don't do that.
Mandem. It's not with a hype thing. A war.
The world general speak.
Yes, sir. Back again. Let's go. What's good, everyone? What's good?
And of course, it's me.
Shop like Shak. You waste you.
How you been? How's the week been? How'd you enjoy the barbecue right after we recorded with the mandem? It was good to see a lot of people that I haven't seen in a minute. It's good to get people together since I'm about to dip for a little bit too.
Yeah.
How was that?
Yo, I'm honestly the highlight of my week. Thank you for hosting us. Thank you. I appreciate that. Shout out to producer again.
Yeah, we shuffed up
Shout
a
out
little
to
bit
the whole Cox family for, hosting us and letting us be here. You know what I mean? Wicked vibes. It was good to see everyone. Saw some of the homies that I haven't seen actually since a wedding, so it wasn't that long ago, but blessed vibes. Solid vibes.
Wifey was DD too, so it was amazing
So,
vibes.
I had a good time.
Did you have some shots? I can't remember.
I had quite a few. One or two, or 3 or 4. So did she. But it's all good, you know. Early. We're responsible out here. But no, it was a solid vibe. Good way to start the week, man, or end off the week. Whatever way you want to look at it. But honestly, like I've just been grinding this week. It's literally been back to the 905, back to the 9 to 5. But other than that, man, just trying to think about some next moves and think about this pod and just looking forward to this, man. I really look forward to these sessions with you, man. So it's good to be here, and we've got some good feedback. So shout out to those who listen to us and give us, their feedback on what we're doing, and we appreciate it. Definitely.
Yeah, people are excited that we were back together. I think people are looking forward to what can happen after this. I think I'm looking forward to it. You are looking forward. And I was saying earlier, I was like, oh, we're literally in sync. This man messages me on his way here. You're like, you need anything to drink?
Hey,
I was like, listen, I got the hard stuff. Bring the light stuff.
I got the light stuff.
Bring the light stuff.
No free promo, but
we'll blur it out in post. We'll blur it out in post. But how's the rest of your week though?
Nah, the rest of the week it's all right, man. I'm looking forward to. So we're recording this. Can I tell them when we're recording?
Of course you can.
Yeah, they know.
They
know already.
They can get that secret sauce. Yeah, go for it.
So it's Friday, going into the long weekend. Yep. I am looking forward to it, man. I'm about to go see my niece-in-law for the first time. Ashley's brother and sister-in-law just had a baby girl, so
just
last weekend. So
congratulations,
fresh, brand new.
Congratulations.
Let's give them something for that. You know what I mean? So we're really excited. We've been seeing photos all week, so we can't wait to go and see her. So we're gonna go do that over the Thanksgiving weekend, and yeah, man, it's good.
Nice.
You got new life in the family. We just got married, so life's looking good, man.
Yeah, I mean, you can't give up enough air horns for
You know what I mean? Let's go.
Does it still feel fresh or what? Or you're like, all right, married life, let's get into it. What was this?
So I kind of told you a little bit beforehand. I know I'm gonna get flamed, so let me just call it out right
Okay.
now before she says it. But the hardest part is remember the wedding ring.
I love how you said it, like, and you're being very, very candid with it because you're like on camera being like, the hardest part is
Yeah.
remembering the wedding ring.
So here's the thing.
You said you're on strike 2 right now.
I'm on strike 2. I'm on strike 2. So strike 1. Let me do this back for the people. So strike 1. We were traveling on the honeymoon.
Mm-hmm.
Literally just got to the airport in Vancouver, and actually no, we're leaving Vancouver at this point. And I left my wedding ring in the rental car.
What do you mean by that? Huh?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. So we pull up to the airport, about to return the rental car, and I took my ring off. I don't remember why. I think I was driving. It was kind of bugging me, whatever. I'm not used to it yet. And I took it off, and I left it in like the little cup holder.
Why would you? That's dumb. Sorry, Patrick. I'm not even on your team. You can't put a ring into a cup holder in the car. That's a rental. That's not even your car. So it's not even like, oh shit, let me go to the driveway and go fetch that thing.
Yeah. So I didn't realize. I don't really wear jewelry like that. You know what I mean? I rock a chain 1, 2. You know what I mean? But nothing on the hand. So it wasn't until we're walking out, she looks at me. She's like, "Where's your ring?" And I'm like, I don't know. It's like in the car. She's like, "Go get it." I'm like, yeah. So I run back. Luckily, the car's still there. They haven't gone to it yet. So I get the ring. That's strike 1. Mm-hmm. Strike 2 is right now. So I literally left my house without the ring. I didn't realize until I got to the LCBO. I'm buying the liquor, and I'm at the checkout, and the cashier's looking at me.
So she still doesn't know.
No, she'll find out now. She's
gonna find out Monday morning, or are you gonna let her know?
No. She'll see it when she gets back in. That it's on the kitchen table.
Oh, so she already knows. Probably.
Yeah, she already knows.
Wow.
Yeah.
Your phone is probably blowing up low key.
Low key right now. So that's been like the biggest thing. Why don't you
just like say F it and just get the tattoo?
Yo, I never thought about that.
That's what I'm saying. It's permanent. Hey, I'm always married.
I could do that. I should, you know what? Because my ring doesn't even really fit right now.
It's like did it for your team. Your team got a ring, so when you get a ring, you should get a ring.
I should do that. Let's do that.
That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. So that's
I also said it on the podcast. Now she's gonna listen to it, and it'll forever be ingrained in her head if you don't consider getting that now.
Yeah.
But then you also can push her to get it too, and she probably won't do it. So there you go.
Right.
That's an argument that I just started for you guys.
I appreciate the producer right here behind me who's blessed me with some nice some nice breeze because it's hot.
Yo, man saw the beads of sweat coming. They're like, hold on. We got the nicest man, and we got all the lights off except for the lights that are needed, and it's still
right in my face.
No, it's not just you. Trust me.
It's hot. So these are the joys that you guys don't see on Zoom, right? So we're here in person. You know what I mean? We're doing this for y'all. And the sweat just hit me. But aside from that, wedding life has been good. Marriage life has been good. Like we said, it's adjusting to being in each other's space. You know what I mean? That's the biggest thing. So
what has changed spatially with you guys? Because you guys are still separate places right now, but like.
Actually, no, not really.
Tell me more.
So
tell me more. Actually, no, not really. Actually, you know what?
What do you mean by that?
That's your new favorite drop. I see it.
Absolutely.
I see it. So I thought that was going to be the case, but it didn't make any sense. We're married. Why should we be apart? Really? Right. So I have the space in my crib. So yeah, she's been staying by me and my pops for the past few weeks now. And it's just figuring out that dynamic. You know what I mean? The house was really set up for two guys who it's a
bachelor pad.
It's a bachelor
times two.
You know what I mean? You got the geriatric dude, and then you got like the young one.
What a dynamic! I'm so curious as to the inside of that spot.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's not
we gotta take the show on the road and go check out Malvern. We gotta record a Malvern. I would love to record a Malvern.
So we're just trying to make this more like hospitable for her. You know what I mean? And just it's definitely different. This weekend we'll be doing some makeovers and some purging of some items. So yeah, that's gonna be fun.
Did you guys get inspired by the fact that you saw producers stamp on MySpace?
Shout out to MySpace. It was definitely
Don't shout out MySpace. Fuck 'em.
It was definitely like a jump off point for us, for sure. So yeah, but she's working there. We're both working from home, so I want to make sure that she's comfortable at the end of the day, right? So it's turning one of the rooms that we have in the house to like an actual office. Yeah, I've been talking about it, but now it's enough talk, more action. So we'll be doing that and just making sure that making sure she's comfortable. So it's that dynamic, figuring out like we got one kitchen in the house. There's 3 of us. 3 different tendencies, so it's just figuring out that dynamic of how we're going to manage this for the short term until we get a place of our own, which we'll talk about a little bit later on.
Fun shit.
Yeah. But what's going on with you, man? I know you about to fly out of here. You and producer about to be out of here. So what's good?
I'm taking the whole gang except for you to LA. I'm not taking them, but we're all going together.
Yeah.
We're going to LA on Sunday, so that'll be fun. Okay. We get Thanksgiving Monday off, so like we can actually like settle into when we go over there. Yeah. That'll be cool. Aside from that, this week has been crazy. Getting ready for all the homecomings of all the teams at MLSC. So that's both of them. The 2 major ones. With the Raptors and the Leafs. So that's been crazy. I just finally got one of my first work perks. I got some tickets to see Enrique Iglesias and what's that other guy? Ricky Martin.
Okay, you and your Latin bag.
No, not me. I gave it to my mom.
Oh,
my mom is
you're a good son.
Is taking care of it. Yeah. It was either that or I flip a monkey Gigi, but mom's
instead of making a little change, you decided
some change. Give it to mom.
Got you.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So week's been good. And now we're just prepping to go over to LA and see what that's gonna look like because we haven't even like booked return tickets and shit like that. So there's still other logistics to figure out.
This is literally just a one way, like you out there. Like
they're gonna be like, yo, because one of the times that I went over, like the TSA dude was like grilling me, like, and I think he was bored. Because like this is when nobody was traveling, so I think he was just trying to make his time entertaining, and he was just like, so do you don't have anything to come back to, do you? And I'm like, I mean, I work here. And he's like, but you work remotely. And I was like, yeah. And he's like, so you have nothing to come back to. I was like, I have a whole... I don't want to live in the States, man. I don't... And he just... And like, the conversation ended where he's like, you're good. So I think he was just fucking with me.
Damn. I don't know, man. They be like... they be like that. Like, I'm telling you, like, I don't want to go into the whole details, but... My sister's going through that process right now of trying to get like the
She's trying to go to like live in Philly, like permanent.
Yeah, so she's trying to get that permanent residence and that visa, and it's a hassle and a half. Like, so be prepared. If you ever decide to do that, be prepared for that because it's not easy, bro. It's not easy.
I know. We're learning all the fun part about the logistics that we didn't plan for, but we're figuring out as they come.
There you go. That's it. That's the life.
I do. What was that?
What's up?
Oh no, she grabbed the mic.
Here we go.
Sorry.
I don't understand why you would be Canadian and move to America and be like, I want to be an American.
Okay, well, that's exactly what I was trying. That was my frustration. That was my frustration.
Now, in 2021, almost 2022, everyone should know better.
That's it.
There is no American dream as an American.
No.
That's
as a
not
black
the
one,
shit you're seeing on TV is not real. No matter where you are. The shit you're seeing on TV is not real.
Facts.
So like
the revolution will not be televised.
But some of it's not real. I just don't understand why you would be a Canadian after, I guess, experiencing both sides of things.
This was ahead of the election, so like everybody was scared. Like things were boarded up in the States, and like this was the time
before the election. Americans were like, "I'm moving to Canada."
This was November.
You know how I know? Because I was one of them.
Exactly. This was like Halloween. So like the like everything was tense. I was walking into a situation where people were boarding up their businesses and shit. So why would I want to live?
Why would you want to live there
at that time of all times?
Right.
That was my point with the guy, and I don't know if he caught that or he was really just fucking with me, and he just said, "Nah, fuck it, just come through." But anyways, let's
move to Vancouver, man. Let's move to Vancouver. Let's get a complex.
We've got a very special guest today.
Oh, let's do this.
He's a celebrity.
Hey,
come over. I got some music. I got some music.
here. Nice to be here.
Yeah.
First time.
Yeah, first time on camera. And this guy's
Not
like,
triplets. Y'all see it.
I love
come
it.
on now.
I love it. That's hilarious.
So I have my father, Alan Cox, on here. He's assistant coach at Georgian College. Also, my finance manager, consultant, former basketball coach as well. He's also a bank dude. I don't know what his job is. And he's just really good with money, period. So if he wasn't my dad and I just knew this dude, I would have had this guy on the podcast considering our stage in life right now. We're both 30, figuring this shit out.
Legit.
Man just got married. I'm engaged. We're trying to combine incomes. We're trying to combine lives and figure out how that shit works. And guess what? This guy married his high school sweetheart and made that shit work.
Wow.
So I wanted to have you on the podcast. Welcome, Dad.
Yeah, welcome.
Well, thank you for having me. First of all, a disclaimer.
Okay.
I'm not a financial planner.
I said my personal one.
Right.
And you're gonna have to talk right into the mic right there.
Okay.
Yeah, keep it
So
right
there you
there.
go.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
all right.
yeah.
I catch you can hear it in my high.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah,
There you go.
That's the point.
But the whole point of all this is that to Shaquille's point is that we need to talk more about financial planning as individuals, as young people. I know when I was younger, I couldn't speak to anybody because I didn't have a network of people, and that's why me as an older individual would always love to speak to people about finances. We don't get it in the school system. You know, it should be. I think now it's going to be. At some point, I've heard is going to be part of the curriculum.
Yeah.
But it's definitely something that's very important that we should be speaking of. And also within our community, we don't talk about it a lot or
Which
enough.
community are you talking about?
Yeah, which community?
Which community?
Yeah.
The black community. There
you go.
100% the black community does not talk
Talk about
about finances. It's my business. I mean, you know, when I have stories, but I mean, even just the first story, I will just say, and I won't call names, but there's an individual that had a nice vehicle, and you know, when he was approached about how much he paid for the vehicle, and it wasn't me who approached him. He was told, well, he said, well, you know what? I don't really like to talk about money like that. You know, it's like, so that was the end of that. If we can't share information within our community, especially friends, people that we've grown up with, then how are we going to educate ourselves? How are we going to learn?
Yeah.
Who are you gonna share
How am I
with?
going to know what you pay for that vehicle?
Yeah.
Right.
And at the end of the day, how am I going to get there?
Right.
Right? So knowing where I am, how do I get to that point where I could afford something like that?
So you're saying, like, basically in our community, one of the largest issues that you found, and I'm sorry, people, if you didn't think that you're coming to the finance podcast, again, fuck you. This is the stage that we're at where we're trying to figure this shit out and share knowledge. Are you saying that in our community, the black community especially, because this is the one we're talking about, you find that people don't share knowledge as much as they should?
100%. 100%.
And this could be anything from like clothing. Where'd you get that?
We don't even share. We don't even share where we bought our sneakers from. Much less money. Like, you know what I mean? Real. Like, you know, how did you get there? How did you buy that house? How did you, make that investment in where you're making money now? It's all private. It's all secret. We don't want to help each other. We don't want to help each other grow. And I think that's where the first thing we need to do is, talk and help each other. It's not a race. It's not a competition. We have to uplift each other.
Right.
And other communities do it all the time.
Yeah.
All the time. And also, we don't need to do this alone. First and foremost, right? We have family, we have friends, we have people that we could lean on, and we have to be able to feel comfortable. And if you can't have that conversation, how can you feel comfortable with trying to extend yourself to say, hey, I got like 1 cent and you got 1 cent.
Yeah.
Let's make it 2.
Let's make it 2, yeah.
It's that simple.
To that point, before we dive into like how we can take that conversation to our generation and how we're living, with whether we're at home or renting or whatever, I know your situation when I was an infant. I'm assuming we were living Eglinton West area.
Shout out.
Roselawn.
Roselawn was one, yeah.
But I just remember like a story where you were saying that you were applying for this apartment and it just like the money that you were making was so little that it just didn't make any sense as to how you were able to afford the car payments, the rent, the groceries, the rest of those bills. And then on top of that, save money.
Right. Okay.
While you had an infant, please explain that to me.
So let me explain that. First of all, it wasn't Roseland. I was trying to get Roseland.
Okay.
I was trying to get, that was the Eglin Duffin area.
Right.
I was living at Vic Park, right across from the subway there.
I was a Scarborough man. You guys didn't even know that.
That was the original spot. That's where he was when he was born. That's where it was.
Yo, shut up.
He came home to Scarborough. That's where he came home to.
Exactly.
So we're living up at Vic Park, right? And at that time, literally, my biweekly paycheck was $625.
You said you're biweekly?
Biweekly. Every Tuesday, I'm getting $600 after taxes. $625.
Damn.
My rent for the apartment, which was a junior 1-bedroom, not even a proper 1-bedroom, right? Which means that we had no we just had a little kitchenette,
right?
Mm-hmm.
Kitchenette, living room, and a bedroom.
Damn.
Right? And a washroom. That's it.
Right.
That was $725. So I wasn't even making enough one paycheck, right? To pay for all that.
$725 rent. Oh my God, that sounds beautiful.
It sounds beautiful, but I was making $625 in 2 weeks.
So he's not making enough to cover that.
So first, I'll explain how you get to that point where you could do these things, but. What I was trying to do is now move into a 2-bedroom because Shaquille was born.
Right.
We're all living in 1 bedroom.
Yeah.
And thank God he didn't like all that baby food shit. He just did breast milk 100%.
Okay.
That was
I was like, listen, we saving for something. I see where we're going.
If you could get your kids onto that breast milk, that's the most efficient financial way to go forward, right? Forget this baby food stuff because you're just putting money in Gerber's pocket, not in your own, right? First and foremost, right there.
So I love how his argument has nothing to do with like the nutrients and the nutritional value of the Gerber.
What do you mean?
Ultimately, naturally, right? A woman's milk is 100% better than anything you could buy in the grocery store.
Yeah, drink the breast milk.
100%. It's made for that reason, right? So luckily and thankfully, you weren't about everything else but the breast milk.
Okay.
So now we got that. So that's one huge expense I didn't have to worry about.
Yeah.
Right. So what I was doing is I was trying to get the apartment, 2-bedroom apartment on Roselawn, which was I think at the time was like $700 something, which for me it's like. Actually, it was $800. I'm paying $725. It was $800. I was moving in the city, closer to work. Okay. Literally where I could walk to work, which would save me commute and save me transportation. Right.
Okay.
So when I went to look at the apartment, the guy was saying, "Well, I don't know." I said, "Okay, hold on a second. Let me show you my bank book." Okay, so I broke everything down. I said, "Look, you see that money going to my bank book every month? That's savings. You can see that, and you see how it grows, right? That's been happening for the past 2 years. So." You're basing me on the regular kind of, when you look at, savings for people. I'm not a regular person. First and foremost, I have to understand that every single penny that I spend is being spent for a good reason. There's no such thing as just spending for no reason. Right. Like even buying a coffee. Yeah. Was a thought-out process.
You didn't know about millennials until later.
No. Coffee. I thought about $1.25 a day, whatever it was costing back then.
Yeah.
I did the math. I'm like,
just make that at home.
Not only that's bus fare back and forth every day.
That's facts.
Why am I spending it? Right. So and you got free coffee at work on top of it. People are leaving the office to get. Coffee you got to pay for.
Oh, true. Yeah, a lot of offices do offer the coffee, and people will say no to that and go for their
So once again, that's a waste of money, right? So when you think of those things, so anyways, when I showed him my bank book, he was like, "Oh, okay, I'll go talk to the office because obviously you know what you're doing." And it was because me showing the bank book is how I got that apartment. Otherwise, I quote unquote on paper couldn't afford it on paper.
You're right.
But there's paper and there's reality. It's just like there's stats and playing the game. It's two different things.
Tell us about the sports. Tell us about it, Coach.
Analytics don't mean everything.
It's not all about it's not all about that stuff. So I mean, before we jump in, why I was able to do all that stuff, first of all, is discipline. You have to be disciplined in everything you do, right? Discipline and balance. Right, you can't just go over the board. Like you don't have these crazy weekends when you're spending hundreds of dollars. That never happened in my life. Up to now, it's never happened. Right, it's a thought out process. When you want to go down to the club, you want to go down to the bar.
Good segue.
Oh, we talk about that. We talk about that.
Good segue.
Now.
We
talk about buying bottles because
you want buying bottles.
So let's talk about that. I have a. This is what
bottle service.
This is what Dame Dash says. This is what Dame Dash says.
Yeah.
That care about money can't get no girls without money. The guys that love culture get girls regardless.
You know what?
Ooh.
Bottle service fucked the whole world up, man.
So let's extract that statement.
There's a couple
Bottle
different
service
thoughts there.
fucked the whole world up.
Right.
For you never did bottle service. I think like the Carter Effect, that documentary, it showed us that basically Vince Carter brought bottle service to Toronto. So that was never even a thing for you.
Right.
Then you have us kids. We're like 20 something years old. I was making minimum wage. Guess what I was doing with that minimum wage when I wasn't spending it on school and transportation? I was going to Time on a Sunday where I was buying bottles to my face, sometimes multiple, because they're only $100, and that's a little bit now, but that's a lot actually.
You said only 100
bottles for $100. Like to you, what do you think of? So all of that being said, like you and your little book of savings or whatever you had,
my little book of savings. You
Yeah.
mean this is actual footage from October 2011. October 2011.
Yo, this
That's
is
my
crazy.
budget. We'll get into a budget after. So this is real.
crazy.
All right.
So
Yeah, let's show everyone. Let's
we're
see
gonna do
everyone
some
what
we're
this
gonna
is.
do some camera work. Oh shit!
Look at this.
Go for it.
We're gonna zoom in on that.
We got it.
Don't give them all. Don't give them everything.
Give 'em- Yeah. So when you hear that bottle service, like that we're spending money on bottles in the club, and this is before like current day right now, where one single bottle is like between $250 and $300 and something dollars for one bottle.
Yeah.
How do you feel about bottle service, and is there such thing as balance with spending money on a bottle to yourself?
Okay, first of all, what kind of bottles are we talking about?
We're talking about Grey Goose. We're talking about
Hold on.
sometimes on Carabana you
didn't
get like
start
the
that
Henny
way.
for like $250, but it started with Smirnoff.
It started with Smirnoff.
For like $100.
So
But
how
that's
much-
why I love
okay,
Time,
hold on a
because
second,
Time
okay.
did the Grey Goose for the $100.
So let's put it in today's
Right.
today's comparison. So
Okay.
if you're gonna get a bottle of Smirnoff for bottle service, how much is that costing you?
It'll cost you like
a bill,
$200. No, today it's like
today?
$200.
Yeah,
bucks.
we're talking $200.
$200.
Okay, and what is it retail for?
Sorry, I'm just going to go ahead and speak as the bottle service expert here, and I'm just going to say that first of all, if you're getting bottle service, we don't do Smirnoff.
Okay, what is it?
Fair.
What is it
What do you mean?
comparable?
You're
on?
saying you from Beverly Hills, your establishment
First
is
of
very
all,
different.
shout out to Beverly Hills. Thank you so much. And shout out to Baldwin Hills too. You know what I'm saying? Thank you so much. But no, I'm speaking
let's speak
pretty
up.
general terms.
Okay, so
Pretty general
let's do an
terms.
average bottle, like a regular bottle.
Name an average bottle to you.
No. What would you guys sell in for
Our
bottle
average,
service?
our
Yeah.
lowest bottle
Yeah.
is $300. There's
And
one bottle
what is it?
for that.
What is
What is
it?
it?
Tito's vodka.
Tito's
Tito's
vodka.
And what is
Really
what
good
is it?
vodka.
What is it
It's good
retail
vodka,
for?
but it looks like trash. in the-
Tito's, okay, let me just say this. Mr. Alex. Let me just say this. Tito's vodka is actually a really good vodka.
It is. It
Yeah.
looks like trash in bottle service,
It
though.
is sold as a lower tier vodka, but it's actually a really good vodka.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
No hangover, the
notwithstanding,
taste is
you're trying
good,
to sell it
the
to me.
flavor
You
is
don't
good.
have to sell it to
I
me.
was like, no.
You don't have to sell it to me.
Let's go.
Okay, so Tito's is a good vodka.
And retails for about.
So it retails for about, it depends on where you purchase it,
Oh my god.
Okay.
anywhere from $30 to $50.
Thank you.
That's fair.
But also,
Yeah.
it's called bottle what?
Service.
Thank you.
So,
So what happens when you have bottle service, to be clear, what you are entitled to is not just a bottle in the club that you're making drinks yourself. You literally have two beautiful, 2 to 3 to 4, depends on how big your table is, beautiful women that are coming around. They're making you drinks. They're making all of your guest drinks real time. They're asking what are your preferences. They're refilling your ice. They're like, you're not just getting a bottle. You're literally
I
getting
wasn't seeing that at these
That
clubs where I went
doesn't-
to.
yeah,
so you're getting
doesn't
service,
happen.
you're getting atmosphere,
okay.
you're getting DJ,
That's
you're
over there.
getting
That's over
liquor.
there.
Yeah.
That's
You're
over
getting
there.
a designated space for you and your party
Okay.
to congregate, sit,
It's all
come back
about the
to a base
experience.
point.
It's about the experience. Right.
Right.
Thank you for selling
So
that. Thank you for
now
selling
you
that.
think about how long you're in the club. What?
3
4
hours tops.
Yeah.
Tops.
3-4 hours. Yeah.
3-4
hours,
hours
yeah.
is probably average for people.
Yeah.
Maybe 2 hours if you one of them late joints.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you a late joint from New York, and then you come over here in LA, and you're like, oh, y'all shake like that. So you an early joint. You know what I mean? You a late joint, but an early joint.
Right.
You go over there for 2 hours. You still got 2 hours. Now you divide that by 300 by all these people. Like, why is that a big deal?
Let me explain why it's a big
Okay.
deal.
Let's
All right,
talk
let's
about
get
it.
to
Let's
go.
get
Let's
to
let's
it.
get to
it.
the financial aspect of this whole bottle service, which I understand. It's a service. You're selling a product.
Right.
I get it. However, remember when we went to Time?
Yeah.
Went to Time, and I showed you how I would do it.
I took him to Time.
Hold on. You went to Time.
So I took him to Time. I took him to Time one night. It was me, Malik, and my dad. We all went to Time one night.
Okay. Pictures are there.
The pictures exist. The outfits are there.
Okay.
And we didn't buy bottles that night.
No.
What we did do, we pulled up.
Okay, go ahead.
We pulled up, and guess what Alan did as an OG?
Oh, what'd you do?
He popped the trunk.
There you go. Bottle service in my trunk.
Give us some. That's an OG flex. That's an OG flex.
Parking lot pimping.
That's it.
That's awesome.
So I what I did was I said, look, you guys are spending back then $100 on a bottle,
Which is light work.
Right?
I wish I was spending $100 on a bottle today.
So what were you spending it about?
That back then?
Yeah.
I was taking care of the whole bottle at least. Sometimes I'll do 2 because, there's the 2 minimum.
Yeah, you
And
right.
then, or was it 3 minimum? And then I'll get somebody else to pay for the other one, and I'll do the 2.
So let's talk about how much was it though. You guys not spending how much were you spending?
Oh, in that night?
Yeah.
There was barely Uber, so we had to. We were carpooling still.
Okay.
So max, I would have spent $250 that night.
Okay, so $250. So my nights.
If Hong Shing was there, $300 bucks tops.
So my nights. Yeah. I ain't going any Hong Shing anyways, but my nights.
I'm sorry, Miss Allen. You was spending $250, right? But this was when you was making.
He was making like
little dollars,
like $10.
We're not gonna call out numbers because you don't know who's listening. You don't know their business, and we don't want to insult. And everyone's at different stages.
Everyone's at different parts.
Yeah.
But we'll say, compared to where you are now, at that point, you were making little dollars.
I was making $12 an hour then.
Little dollars then.
Okay, so I'm making more than little dollars
Right.
at that time.
Right.
Okay.
And I'm gonna say, when I go out with my boys, I don't go with a whole group first of all because that's expensive. Right.
Going out with a whole group is expensive.
thought
It's
it'd be cheaper
expensive.
'cause you
No.
split the
You have to understand.
You know why? Because he's talking about where people are gonna say, "I'm gonna do this round. You're gonna do this round. You do this round." It's gonna be the 8th round.
Because so that's why
And
you guys
expensive
are
to
doing you guys are doing bottle service, right? Which obviously automatically is expensive to begin
Yeah,
with, right?
yeah.
So we didn't do bottle service. What we did was we bought rounds. So the less people you went out with, the less rounds you have to buy.
Yeah.
But ultimately, when I talk about rounds, right, we're just buying bottles, like beer bottles, whatever. We're not even talking about drinking liquor because the liquor was drank in the trunk before we got in the club. Right.
So first of all, you guys are keeping the pace.
That's just keeping the pace. So you got the buzz outside. You got the buzz outside, right?
Okay.
And then you got inside and you spent little money inside
Yeah.
because all you had to do was keep the buzz going.
Okay.
You didn't have to get the buzz in the club.
That's true.
You guys are buying bottles to get the buzz in the club, which is right there.
Sometimes
chasing
I walk.
it.
Yeah,
It's a lose-lose.
Yeah.
It's a lose
game.
because you're
Yeah,
spending a lot of money
Fair.
on that.
Yeah.
Use a Canadian phrase. Still
Still, yeah.
Oh my god.
doing that, Mr. Allen. We still doing
Oh,
that.
fun. Listen,
Oh, I didn't know this guy.
listen.
Who's that? Who's that? What's wrong with this guy? Who's that?
So and then the other this is what I do.
Yeah.
This is
What
what we
you
do, right? So we would go out, right? We'll get a bottle,
Okay.
a $30 bottle of something, because it's just about getting a
Smart.
buzz. We're not
Smart.
trying to enjoy the drink.
That's
It
right.
ain't about that when we going out.
That's right.
So you just get a nice little $30 bottle.
Yeah.
You pull up, you pour everybody out, get a drink, and we start drinking, right? And then we start feeling nice. Everybody looks at each other. You good? You good? We're good. We go inside. Me personally, I ain't like everybody else.
Yeah.
I got that $40 cash in my pocket. That's it.
Let's talk about it. That's
That's
it.
it.
So you don't typically
No credit cards,
So you don't
no
typically like swipe the credit card in the club.
What?
There's
Credit cards does
there's-
not even enter the
so there's
club
no-
when I
there's
go
no-
into
There's
a club.
no room for error.
No,
in-
exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
You can't do that. You can't be swiping the credit cards. and
Credit
debit
cards don't go in the club because credit cards feed into the moment.
That's right.
And you got to be in control. So you have to pre-plan that. So you know what? Even if I'm having the greatest time of my life,
Yeah.
somebody else is going to pay for it. It ain't going to be me. It ain't going to be
We
me.
watched Community the other day,
Yes.
and
Good show. Amazing
there
show.
was an
Yep.
episode where two characters who are dating,
Yeah.
Andy and what's her name? What's her name?
Her name is
Something.
yeah.
Andy and Homegirl. That's super funny. I apologize. But, Mr. Allen and I were watching that together, and he was like laughing. And I was laughing, but it was clear that we were laughing for different reasons. So I was like, what? And the episode was they were in the club, and Andy couldn't pay for the drinks.
Oh, yeah.
He's like, I don't have money like that. You know the episode.
Yeah.
And she was like, I don't care. I just want to hang out with you. Let's do fun shit. They ended up doing fun shit throughout the club. But one of the things it was I can just get drinks
For free.
for
From
free
dudes.
and
Yeah.
pass them to you and then
Yeah.
get another drink
Yeah.
from another dude,
Yeah.
which I'm not even going to front. That's the thing. And I've done that a million times. Not for my, significant others, but it was for insignificant before this one. But it was before when I was like with my homeboys.
Yeah.
And I was like, I got you. You know what I mean? Whatever.
Yeah.
And so I'm laughing because I'm like, oh, nostalgia. Those were the days.
I wonder.
And that was my laugh. His laugh was.
I wonder how many fights were started
And I
off
was
of
like,
that
well,
shit.
what? Are you laughing at? And Mr. Owen was like, that never worked on me. That's verbatim.
Oh, like buying
Quote.
a woman a drink?
That never worked.
God, no.
It was so ridiculous.
What do you
And
mean?
he was like,
figured it
I
out
knew what I was
once.
spending before I walked in there,
That's
and
right.
that was it.
Yeah.
That was
it.
what I was
Yeah.
spending. And
When
that's
that $40 is done,
Yeah.
which literally back in those days was like, if you really want to count it out,
What, 3 drinks? 4 drinks?
no, it was like $5 a beer.
Okay.
Right? Right? So, that's
pretty
good. I
good.
could
That's
buy a
pretty
round.
good.
I could buy a round.
That's pretty good.
Right? Just, you know what? And we just, it all comes back.
Yeah.
And everybody's good, because you pace yourself. You ain't
That's
like,
right.
you're not wild trying to get
That's right.
blasted. We didn't go out to get blasted. We went out to have a good time.
Yeah.
Right.
Two different things. And come back. And there was no after party, go hong shings and go eat and shit like that. We got our ass in the cars and we
No
drove
markup
home.
station,
Right? So,
yeah.
Wow.
right. No, so it wasn't, there was no after party. So my night really at the end of the day was like $40.
Damn.
$40.
I remember that used to be my standard. I did live by that for a moment. I did have the 220s in my pocket, and
Yep.
then things changed.
Yeah, no, but to your point,
changed.
so we went to time and you guys were trying to show me, and I showed you how I would do it or how I was doing it.
But the thing that was different about when I went to time with you versus when I usually go.
It wasn't even that pack, but anyways.
Well, we
It
also
wasn't that good.
listen. We also went the weekend after Caravana, so everybody was broke, and it was just
Yep.
like not as
Yep.
popping.
Yep.
And then secondly, we didn't get a booth like we usually do, so that's what's different. You end up like floating. You're like, I don't know where to post up. There's this
You gotta try to
stanchion
find somewhere
beam,
to-
and
yeah.
now I'm leaning here, and this is where I'll stay. Versus like having couches and places to throw your jackets, and a table where all the drinks go, and like you can stand on the couch and all this other stuff.
But see, okay, that's what I don't even understand, because why do you want to be isolated on a couch with your boys, right? When all the girls are outside running around,
Thank you.
and
Let's
you
talk
could
about
just
explain-
actually
explain
literally
to
bounce
him.
into
Explain
them.
how it
Okay,
works.
explain to me.
No. I'm not. No, because I'm on his side.
No.
Because I think this is to the point of what Dame Dash was saying, is that bottle service killed the club, not because of the cost, but because of people just posting.
Right, that's what they do.
It was about going to the club. Like for me, when I did go out, let me preface that. When I did go out, I'm trying to dance. I'm trying to meet girls. I'm trying to do this. I'm not trying to be one of those dudes posted up.
You
just
forget that
watching.
you're in the spotlight.
I don't care
Being the
about
dude
that.
posted.
No, but I don't care about that. I'd rather be out there on the dance floor with the girl that's dancing right now. I'm trying to be there. I'm not trying to
You're
be...
a dancer-mon. That's different.
So you know what I mean? Like,
You're a dancer-mon. I'm a flexer-mon in the corner.
But
Right, Flexible spend a lot of money though. They spend a lot of money for no reason.
Work for no reason. At the end of the day, I'm gonna leave. I'm gonna have some numbers. I'm gonna have some whatever, and you just post it.
Sometimes I just be in the right booth and I didn't even spend any of the money in the booth, and I'm just in the right place at the right time.
I don't know. I feel like bottle service definitely killed the interaction within the clubs.
I hear you.
There was
It
a money
did
side, and
kill
then
a
it just
lot of the
threw-
organic interaction that you
Bottle
would.
service
Yeah.
expanded the club experience. It did not kill the club. It expanded it. So whether your desired experience was something that was directly what was happening before bottle service, that's one thing. But it didn't kill it. It just expanded it. Because some people like to go to the club, but they don't want to be on the dance floor the whole time. They want to, like you're saying, have the luxury of pulling their jacket up and not knowing nobody can get in there. Nobody can take their shit. Nobody can come in. They're always gonna have somewhere to sit down when
I
they
love
want
the
to take
safety
a
blanket
take a
of
load
having
off
your
and wipe
booth.
the sweat off.
But then why you
and sit
going
their
out?
drink.
Okay,
they
but-
always want to go somewhere when they want to like whisper in someone's ear.
But those are
What do you mean?
certain
Because I want to be
people.
outside and I want to
No,
be
and
like in my own shit.
It makes sense. It makes sense for
That's
those,
an experience.
For
So
those
it's,
individuals.
for different people,
Like
different strokes.
say we just wanted to go out. We didn't want to mess with nobody.
Yeah.
Right? We get a booth, bottle service.
Yeah.
Right? We just want to have that good time. We're celebrating something. We don't want to be part of the club, but we want to be in the club.
Okay.
We want the energy without the bother.
Which
Those are those
makes
people.
sense. But the
Okay.
people
I don't
hear
want
that, I
to
hear
walk
that.
through clubs and bump and dump. I
Right.
don't want to like
Bump and dump.
look for
The fuck
a
is bump and
post
dump?
to post
Write it down.
on.
Bump and dump. I don't know what that is.
saying?
Yeah.
What's a bump and dump?
Bump and
It's
dump.
like you got to bump right here and then you got to jump to the next spot because everything is moving quick. You know,
right.
nobody wants to do
All
that.
right, all
Well,
right.
not
Like
nobody,
that.
but some people are not preferable to
old
that,
school dudes.
i.e. me.
We'll
so I would rather
we'll
pay.
secure a corner.
Hey.
We'll secure a corner.
You getting there early. You getting there early.
No. no.
You getting their first song.
No, we go.
You
To,
getting their first song this
I
time.
used to get there early.
You're not getting their first song.
Well, I know. But close eyes. We secure a corner wherever we are. We'll carve out a corner, and that's our corner, right? That's it. Somebody's always holding the spot.
Right.
Go get drinks, come back. I know it's you gotta go get drinks and stand up in line like you're a peasant and all that kind of stuff. You ain't getting the bottles coming to you, right? But it's an inconvenience for one guy.
That's it.
And you said not one guy every
said
time.
not one guy.
So it might be my turn, it might be your turn.
Yeah.
And you're gone for like 20 minutes, you come back with all the drinks.
So basically, this one guy who's supposed to be your people's is the bottle service bitch.
Yeah. You know what?
It rotates.
It rotates.
Okay, if you share it, then that's fine. But if it's one guy every time,
No, it's not one guy. We share.
no,
We're sharing because everybody gets a turn. Everybody gets a turn.
That's silly. Okay,
I love it.
so I want to go back to to before we get to a couple more silly topics, and I'm happy we had that fun, silly tangent.
That's good.
When it comes to bringing two people together, joining finances, if there's something that you could have told yourself at that point, like before you was like, Natalie, you're the one, and it's official now. Joining finances, what kind of advice would you give your younger self at that point where it's time to bring that shit together?
That's a good question.
I think what's really important is that both individuals, like it or not, should be involved in the finances. It shouldn't be one person's job.
Right.
It's
a partnership.
It's a partnership. You need to know, and I think it's not even just husband and wife or partner, whatever. You need to, even as you get older, you have children, they also need to be understanding of finances. This is something that's really missing a lot. So, when I got married at way back in, I think I was 20 at the time. What did I know? I didn't know much. Guidance, none. Right. Period. No guidance.
Say too much, you might get sued too. Drake and Chris Brown are getting sued over that song. But anyways,
but it's facts. I mean, it's really what it is.
There's no guidance,
right? So earlier on, it was like, okay, I'm trying to explain things. This is what, because sometimes people don't really want to know the bad. They always want to know the good,
right?
And the good comes with the bad. And if you know you're balanced, so you know what to spend. You know what I can or I cannot, what we can or what we cannot do, right? And I think that's why it's important for everybody, both parties, to be involved in the finance. So when we say, you know what, really, this is a good decision, should we really do this? It's not one person making that decision because they know the ins and outs of the finances. They you just don't want to take a risk, or you just don't want to do this. The reality is, we can't do it, because if we do it, we're just going to end up spending more money that we don't have. It's like using our line of credit, using our credit cards, getting in more debt. We have a great time, but you're not worried about paying it or figuring it out. One person has to figure it out. And unfortunately, that's been my situation, right? And it's real. There's no secrets behind it. I have to figure it out. Because when I say we're going to do something, it's real.
Yeah, right.
It's real, because I've done
you ran the numbers.
I've ran the numbers, and the numbers say we can do it, right? But at the same time, the balance between that is that with my wife, it's like she'll dream up the all the biggest things in the world, and at the end of the day,
make it real.
Can I make it real?
Yeah.
Can I make it real? Can we do this?
Yeah.
Right. So, we need, in our relationship, it works because, she's a dreamer, and I'm the person that
grounds it.
Yeah. Can we do this?
And I think that's important in an important dynamic to have in a relationship, right? There's always one person who is, or not always one person, but when you have that split between someone who is the dreamer, but someone who's more practical, that definitely helps, because you mesh each other out. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
She might help you think about things you never thought about.
Right. Imagine two dreamers.
Right? But imagine two people who
imagine
are
two people that right.
Exactly,
no, and that's why I say, because without my wife, I wouldn't take, maybe we wouldn't have done
You'd be
this.
playing
wouldn't have done
mad
this.
safe the whole time.
Oh, I'd have so much money in the bank. But anyways, but no, there's certain things I wouldn't have done. There's certain things I wouldn't have done. Right?
Yeah.
Right. So there's certain things I would have maybe, maybe we should just do this. But the fact is, if somebody else, which is, your significant other, whoever that person, it could be the husband, it could be the wife, it could be the man, it could be the woman, whoever that person is. I think differences make, it's all about balance. So differences really balance you out. If you're the same on any spectrum, it's not necessarily the best thing. Yeah. And I mean, that's been 30 odd years of marriage. That's been the thing. It's like we've been different. you know, and a lot of things, and it helped balance us out. It helped us continue to grow.
I have a question for you actually on that point, and not to jump ahead, but like,
Go for it.
been thinking about this is, you know, I'm now in this step, and we've set up a joint bank account, right? And there's a lot of discussion around finances and do you have joint bank accounts? Do you keep it separate? Whatever. For us, we decided let's just do joint. We'll have our separates, but we have a joint one for like, you know, shared expenses right now. Where do you stand on that aspect of it? Joint accounts, separate accounts. What do you think?
Okay, so as as a banker here now, joint accounts make the most sense.
Okay.
For right of survivorship, first and foremost.
Okay.
Right? You never know. God forbid nothing happens to either one of you.
Yeah.
But you never know something happens. If you have your sole account, that has to go through your estate. Right? Which means the other person, if you got the bulk of your money in your sole account, you're screwed. Because then your spouse can't touch it.
Wow.
Can't touch it. Right? So joint accounts, right of survivorship, something happens to one person, it's automatically the funds of the other person. Doesn't go through estates. It doesn't go through you got to pay taxes and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
You don't have to deal with all that. It doesn't wait for probate and going through the whole process. You could go tomorrow and take the money.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
So every account you have, honestly, every account I have, I don't have a sole account in my life. Every account we have is joint. She might not even know about the account, but it's joint.
Okay.
Right? Because she doesn't really care.
Right.
But it's joint. And then you have the one account where your day-to-day expenses go through.
Yeah.
You could have a joint account where, you know what, I'm going to do my little thing on my joint account over here. She could do a little thing on her joint account over there. But guess what? If push comes to shove, you could always have access to the funds in case something comes in the other. That's why joint accounts are important.
Okay.
In Ontario, there's right of survivorship. In Quebec, there's no right of survivorship.
Oh wow.
Different things. So you have to. So we live in a province where there's a benefit. You don't have to go through your estates, and these are things that you have to think about.
Yeah. I did not know that. So thank you.
There you go. Nugget.
Yeah. Facts.
So, okay, if there's, in terms of just like how anybody, so say I'm in my early 20s, I just got my first professional gig. I might not even be making a lot of money, but I know that I want to own a house. I know that I want to acquire assets. I know that I want to start investing in certain things. I know that I want to save money, period. How do I structure the balance between potentially every now and then buying some bottles and and still saving?
First thing, you gotta stop the bottle service.
Stop it. Okay.
You gotta
Keep
stop
going.
it. You gotta stop it. I mean, at this point, when you get that serious, that stuff happens every now and again. It's not every weekend, right?
Fair.
You have to have a budget, right? And what I was showing earlier on was this little piece of paper. This is from October 2011.
Right.
Right. This budget here is ingrained in my brain.
Damn.
Right. So if you have to be disciplined. Like, talk about discipline. So if you're disciplined with your budgets are like diets. If you don't actually do them, they're worthless.
Right.
It's up to you to actually commit to the actual budget.
That's a nugget. Yeah.
All right. So now, when I was young, when I first started out, I realized I was only making X amount of dollars, and you could only buy X amount of things, and we could only do X amount of things with those dollars, right? So, I had a budget. Okay, gas money is X. I actually put stickies on everything. I actually went. This is old school. Going to the bank.
I know.
I take all the cash out, put stickies on everything, and said, "That's my gas money. That's my grocery money. That's my this money." Now let's put it in today's terms. And this is a really good point I saw somewhere, where you could actually just open bank accounts for these different things.
Yeah, for sure. I've done that.
Right? Open bank accounts for different things, and you make sure that money, each paycheck goes in there. Because that way you're not going to touch it, because it's not in your line of sight. You don't see it. You don't use it. Right?
Yeah.
So that's one way of actually sticking to your budget, is opening different accounts and sticking the money in there. But you stick to the budget, knowing what you have to spend. Right? There's needs and wants. We all want a lot of things. I want a lot of things. I still want a lot of things. I'm still working towards them. However, the needs are taken care of. The necessities of life are taken care of, right? So that your everyday expenses are taken care of. And you want to make sure you have an automatic savings plan.
Yes.
Okay.
Big,
So your automatic savings plan, when you are the one trying to save for yourself, what I mean is, if I have a little money over at the end of the month, I'll
it
save
over
it.
here,
It ain't gonna happen. Because guess what? At the end of the month, you won't have any money left over because you spent it. So that money, as soon as you get paid, that money goes. The money goes, and it should be automatic. It should be automatic, right?
Yeah.
So what we set up for you is we set up that. For your mutual fund, we have the automatic money going into your mutual fund every month.
Right.
So you don't think about it, it has to go. If
Yeah.
you had to make that yourself, I'm going to LA this month. I don't know if I should actually spend it. I'll just hold it in my pocket.
That's bottle service money.
Right. So, so you're doing that. You set up automatic savings plans for different reasons. So you could have it go into a mutual fund. You could have it go into your TFSA, which could be a mutual fund. You could have it go to your RSP. Right. There's a lot of things. And if you do it that way, there's something called dollar cost averaging, which over time you actually beat the market. Because if you're trying to time the market, no one can time the market.
Nope.
So if you do it very religiously every month, right, or you do it every bi-weekly, then you will always over time you will get it in when it's low, you'll get it in when it's high, but it averages out where you actually are ahead. So that's why it's better to do an automatic savings plan than you saying, well, I got this money now because I was actually able to save it, which most times you don't do.
Right.
Nope.
Right.
Okay, so the key thing is setting up an automatic savings plan, having a budget, sticking to the budget, and being realistic. And you know what? It's okay to say, live your life.
Right.
Don't live your boy's life. Don't live people's life on TV. Live your life and stay in your lane.
Yeah. Don't do what they're doing on Instagram.
Did you just quote LeVar Ball?
Yeah.
This guy said, "Stay in your lane."
Stay in your
that's his
lane.
thing.
I mean,
But it's true. It's 100% true.
that's hilarious. No, that's good. That's big facts, man. I've heard that stuff before, but I think it's good for those who haven't, right? Like, yeah, we're just trying to educate everyone out here, so I appreciate that.
As far as like, I don't know to get silly or not because I can. It's just like that's.
I think we can. I think we do you.
You know
don't live anyone else's life.
You're right.
Yeah.
You're right. Apparently, Meghan Trainor, that girl who, what's she saying again?
That bass. She's
All about the.
bass.
She was all about the bass.
It's a good song.
It's a good song.
It's top
Don't
40.
do her,
It's
'cause
top
she's
40.
a songwriter and she writes a lot of cool songs that you probably don't know.
Right.
Did she do Part in the USA? Was that her?
I think she did do that shit. Honestly,
Did she?
I don't remember
it sounds like her bag.
It's
but
a Miley
it
song,
is.
but I think she actually did write that.
Wow, that's
I'm not
hilarious.
sure. Don't quote me on that.
Anyways, her and her significant other apparently have 2 toilets next to each other in their bathroom. Is that too close?
I've heard about this.
Is that too close? They use it at the same time.
Yeah.
Okay. First of all, everybody needs their private time.
There you go.
Right? Period.
Private time together.
No. We live together. We live together.
Yeah.
We have a life together, and really, for me personally, when I say I do, that's I do.
Right.
Right. So that means that we're committed for time. Now, it's not about tomorrow I got to say it again.
Yeah.
Or we have to recommit. No. So I've allowed my personal time.
Okay.
In my space.
Right.
I don't think at the end of the day you should be having that. To me is just way too much.
So it's not a we live together, we die together, we shit together. It's
No.
not that kind of,
No.
I got you.
No, I mean, you know what? Think about it. No. If you think about it, listen. Before you got to that situation, you even lived together.
Right.
You had your own time, and you did
You did your own thing.
your own shit in your own toilet. You did your own stuff,
Right.
Yeah.
and you had your own time. You did whatever you did.
That's it.
Right? And why should that change? Because you're married.
No, you're right.
So let me go back to this point and what I told you last weekend.
Yeah.
I said, listen, right now you're married. That's great, right?
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
And I said, listen, nothing should ever change. Nothing should ever change because listen, this is what got you guys to the point where you wanted to marry each other. All of a sudden now, why do you want to change the terms of the relationship?
Your agreement.
Just based on the fact that we're married?
Right.
I went through that, and this is funny, and you didn't catch this, but when I first got married, I actually was the only one that went through marriage counseling because we had to in order to get married. Natalie wasn't there because she was in the States. Right?
You did marriage counseling by yourself?
Because the guy, he wouldn't marry us, the priest, whatever he was. He couldn't marry us without going through. I had to go every week, go talk to this guy, right? And there was some good nuggets that he gave me, honestly, right? Which is like, you know what? At the end of the day, just something I really always remember is that you should not change. Marriage should not change you. If anything, it should enhance your situation.
That's right.
It should not change it. So if you are out there playing ball 2 days a week, you play ball 2 days a week when you're married. It should not change. All of a sudden now, why should I just not play ball? Because, and this was funny, when I got married and we were living in Texas, it was like, Natalie said to me, and not to put her on the bus, but she goes to me, look, when are you gonna grow up and start playing ball? I'm like, what? You know, like, this is what I do, right? This is what I do. This is who I am.
Yeah.
So it shouldn't change you as a person. You as an individual, when you get married, both individuals should make each other better people.
Right.
It should not about detracting from who you were individually. It should strengthen you and make you better. Right. So
big facts.
that's something that people get lost. And people have a different idea what marriage means, and sometimes based on their own personal experience with their parents,
yeah.
what
I
they
think it's
saw.
just straight up a compromise. Period.
No, but it's also what they've seen, you know what I mean, and you just lived through that.
For sure.
Oh, my mom, my dad did this. Doesn't mean that
so
what they
you're
did
just
was
like,
correct.
Yes.
Right. It was your mom and dad. That was their life.
Yeah.
Right. So hey, make it better. That's all I gotta say. Don't change your relationship just because you're married. It should actually just be better because now you spend more time together.
That's a big fact. And even I think even for definitely marriage, but I think I've seen it happen. We've seen it happen with couples who move in together.
Yeah.
And or they take that next step and they're getting serious, they get engaged, whatever. People start to change. It's like, don't change who you are. You know what I mean? Like,
this is the only thing you've got to know that you've got to change. Look at his hand. He's got the ring on.
Oh, you call me out.
You don't have the ring on. So he's learned that you've got to stay with the ring on, especially when you're on camera.
Okay.
Yo,
no, but you know what? One thing about the ring, when I first got my ring,
Yeah.
it was big. It was too big for me. Is your big?
Mine's too big.
Okay, don't worry. You'll grow into it.
Wow, this guy is...
That's what I was telling Coco.
Yeah, don't do him like that though,
No.
because your wife had to not grow into hers. She literally had a baby, had to have it resized. She had it resized before she had the baby. Then she had a baby, she had it resized, and then she had to have it resized again.
Right.
So your finger's gonna go up and down.
For sure.
Like your weight's gonna go up and down.
For sure.
So definitely get it resized because I think you'll never take it off if it's comfortable and feels like a part of your skin.
And that to your point. So what I did, I didn't get it resized because we didn't know about resizing properly.
Yeah.
What we did was we had that little thing, a little spatial
That's what
thing
I have, right?
that you put underneath so it fits comfortably.
That's what I
and
have.
it's on your hand.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So once you do that, then you don't have to worry about taking it on and take it off. I don't shower. I don't take it off. It's always on.
See, I'm in that phase, and I said this.
You take it off the shower
I
too?
take it off the shower and wash my.
Oh, you're gonna lose that?
That's
Okay,
the
so
problem.
what
I
did.
took it off
That's
the
what I gotta learn.
shower
That's what
when
I
I
gotta
first got engaged, and I stressed out every single time because
Yeah.
I was like, it's gonna go down the drain.
Right.
It's gonna be disappearing.
Where do you put it? Exactly.
Exactly. Like, I just it's too much stress for no reason.
Just keep it on.
You need to get it sized and keep it on, bro.
You can always get it
real
clean.
ass
You can
ring.
always get it clean.
You can get that
That's true.
clean. You can buy a little cleaner
Yeah.
from the little corner store.
Yeah. I
You're
got
good.
you. I got you.
You gotta get it sized and just keep that joy.
It's gonna be on next time.
And
y'all
then
see
also
me.
a
It's gonna be
tattoo
on.
doesn't hurt.
So I've got a yeah, a tattoo is a great idea, and I
Y'all
think
crazy.
that's probably Alan might be thinking about it now.
Me?
You're deep in
tattoo
the game.
ring?
You might as well do it.
Deep in the game, tattooing.
Tattoo. Yeah.
tattoo the ring.
Tattoo
Listen,
the ring.
I said
man.
I do
Marriage.
30
You
odd
need to
years
go
ago.
get-
I need to do nothing else.
All right, fine.
That's what I gotta say.
Whatever, man.
All right.
So I have a let's I want to go to parenting.
Ooh.
So when it comes to parenting, there's different ways that you could raise your kid. You could be like, we have drinks together and stuff like that.
Right.
There's you're still my father, but there's like a balance of like,
Are you best friends?
yeah.
Is that the dynamic?
I've before I even go to that topic, I've also I've realized that through time that you've mentored a lot of my friends. Like you keep in touch with a lot of my former basketball teammates and close friends from high school and whatever through Instagram, and like you provide these nuggets that you're providing everybody on the podcast right now. How did that transition? Like, when did you become everybody's pops?
I think that all started when I started coaching, right? Which I didn't go into on my own volition. It just happened organically. I was at the practice and all the kids, I think it was Malik's team that said, "Hey, why don't you guys coach? Why don't I coach you?" I'm like, I don't know, because that's a big responsibility. It's not just about my own ego. It's about you guys, and it's huge. So I thought about it, and I accepted it, and from that moment on, coaching, it changes you in the sense that now you're also a part of these individuals. It's not just they're just people. No, they're also part of an extended family. right? So even though that they've moved on and done their own thing, what I've continued to do is keep in contact with them, because at the end of the day, I know them. We at an organic level, we've grown together. I've been through some of their experiences, good, bad, or otherwise, and now we're at a position where I want to continue that relationship. So how I was able to do that was through, social media. So I kept in touch with, and I always continue to do that.
Right.
And if I have anything of quality, I will share with them. It's not just about jokes. I don't really share jokes. I share things that make you think for a moment. Right, because
you're the reason why I started sharing all those motivational things that everybody sees on Instagram. You kept sharing them so much that I started to appreciate them, and I'm like, this is what I like about Instagram now.
No, and that's what
I love it.
That's what I like. So when you think about how we can continue to connect with each other, right? I know I didn't have that, so I always reflect on that, and I was a big always advocate of. Have your parents come see them, see you play basketball, be involved in your extracurricular activities. It's really important, because my mom never seen me play basketball ever.
Wow.
Right? Ever. And to me, I think back on it, part of it obviously was her responsibility as a parent, but also me as a child, I could have been more involved. And I could have said, hey, come watch me. I want you.
Right.
I never wanted her to come. That was all on me. She never took the step to say, I don't care, I'm coming. Right? So now as a parent, it's understanding that a lot of times we don't have enough parents involved in our lives going forward. And these kids that I've touched, I want to continue to touch them in a positive way, right? It's just about community. So if I can have something to share that's positive, I will share it. And thank God for social media, because I'm not big on the phone. So thank God for social media, I could just send something here and there, and we can connect.
Yeah.
Right. So.
No, that's a big point. I think as someone who has struggled to find that mentor, when I have found people who have given me advice and have taken that time, it means a lot. It goes a long way. I don't even know if you realize how much it means to someone who's the mentee to get that advice or have that relationship. It goes a long way, and people will never forget that.
Yeah, so it's like filling a void.
It is.
No, you know what, and the thing is, just like how we have in this social setting here, when I go out, I'm not cornering anybody. I don't know. It just happens organically.
These are the conversations that happen.
We end up in deep conversations.
Yeah, whenever I have my parties, you're upstairs talking to somebody about all this shit.
That's real.
And the thing about it is that it's like, why don't we? I never had that. Nobody was talking to me about anything, and I just wish, looking back on it, that if I was given this nugget here and there, how much better I would. My path would have been straighter. Right. My path was what my path was, but it could have been straighter, based on the interactions, if I had more positive interactions with people. So I'm just trying to do the best I can with the limited information that I have, and I think just sharing it is what's most important.
So there's one father who's been sharing his information with his son, and I just want to get your take on it. Are you familiar with Lil Durk? I know you listen to the music nowadays. It's not like you're an old timer. You know what's going on.
What did you say?
I'm familiar with him, but I don't know what's going on with him.
So Lil Durk, he was performing at one of his shows, and he had his son come on the stage and perform one of his songs, Back in Blood. Let me play a little clip, and I just want to get your take on it. Look, I'm real shiesty. So he said after that, the clip, he said, Zayden sings my song word for word. My song's word for word, LOL. We gotta sign him. How do you feel about little young Zayden going off talking about whatever?
Rapping better than his father.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, first of all, if he's that involved...
And the hook, sorry, you don't know the hook, but he's the hook... Oh. The song is featuring Pooh Shiesty, a guy who's now in jail for
He's facing life in jail.
He's facing life in jail, and the hook that Pooh Shiesty has on this song has to do with he brought his own strap in the club, and he's that kind of shit.
Yeah.
And
Gangsta.
And Lil Zayden is yeah, I'm about to be the next Lil Durk.
Okay. So first of all, I mean, his father, Lil Durk, right?
Yeah.
Lil
Durk.
Lil Durk, right?
Yeah.
So first, the most important thing is that his father, his parents, are there to support him and raise him and ground him and make sure he understands what he's doing. Because all this stuff is performing is helping him monetize himself for future potential earnings, right? So at the end of the day, if he doesn't know what he's doing and he's just throwing his child out there and he's not talking to his child offset and explain to him what
Offset's another rapper. You can't say that. I'm just kidding.
He could have meant off rip. You don't know what he meant.
I know what I meant. That's actually a word, right? So it, you know what? To me, as long as he's having that conversation and keeping him straight,
Right.
This is just building generational wealth. This is smart.
Right.
At the end of the day, it's smart. People go, okay, why are you bringing your child out in front of all these people talking all this type of stuff? If his child knows what he's doing, then his child is on the same page as you. That's fine.
Right.
I don't have a problem with that. It's just like, you want to go talk about LeVar Ball. I don't have a problem with what he did with his children because guess what?
Yeah.
Everybody in the world knows LeVar Ball's children.
Right? They're in the NBA.
Right? I mean, good publicity, bad publicity. At the end of the day, if the home is sound, and I'll tell you this, when we moved to Jane and Finch, people told us, don't bring your good little children to Jane and Finch. If anything, if the house was free, don't take it.
Right.
If the house was free, don't take it.
I took it. Wow. I took it, and it wasn't free. I paid for it, right?
Yeah.
Are you a gangbanger?
I can't say that on camera.
Well, I can say that. Guess what? Every one of you guys turned out. Every one of you guys turned out just fine. You want to know why? Because we were confident, and maybe that's us being maybe naive. I wouldn't say that because I grew up in the hood, and so I understand. Listen,
same.
At the end of the day, what's most important is the family, right? Is that unit. Whatever happens outside, if we have a really good unit inside the household, right, and we're true to each other, the streets are not going to take you.
That's it. I say the same thing, man. I grew up in not Jane and Finch, but Alvin and Verba, like it was the same.
Not much.
Especially back then, like it was crazy. But I had that foundation. I had my parents like keeping me, on that path. So I really think it's about that family dynamic that at the end of the day. So. Yeah, you do what you got to do to raise your kids. It's just raise them in the best environment that you can,
Are the LeVar Ball comparisons fair? Because I know all my friends like to joke and call you LeVar because you have a bunch of boys that play basketball.
Ball in the family.
But maybe it's like not basketball that everybody's getting in. Like I got into like. Do you know what LeVar Ball is?
Don't do that.
Uh-oh.
Don't do that.
He's from California.
Don't do that.
Right? I was like, what are you doing?
That's
What are you
not
doing?
even
I was like, what are you doing?
On everything.
Why you do it to
Don't
yourself?
Do that man is not LeVar Ball.
He's just a quieter one.
I disagree.
He stays in his lane.
Yeah.
You can't say he's quieter, he's less aggressive, he's more approachable, or he's different.
So okay,
is what you're saying. That man is not that man.
To your point, okay, so
that man is not that man.
That man is not that man.
That is also episode.
Okay, so okay, the difference between LeVar Ball and myself, from what I can see, is that listen, I understand that basketball.
Finally, people can get the difference.
The difference is that what I've sold you guys is that basketball is not everything. You guys know that, 100%. At one point your tag was basketball is a pastime.
Ball's a
pastime. Ball's
life was a thing at one point.
Right.
Yeah.
So we go through it, right? At the end of the day, is that we're not hooking up all our opportunities to basketball because I understand it is what it is. It's a business.
Yeah.
It's not very straightforward. Can you guys have all played at the next level? Absolutely.
Right.
But to me, that wasn't what was important. What was important for me was that you guys get an education and actually figure out in life what you want to do, because basketball is only a short period of your life. Right?
Okay.
Yeah.
But if it opened up an opportunity.
If you open the opportunities, use it, don't let it use you. 100%.
Exactly.
Use it, don't let it use
I
you.
heard you say that back in the day too.
Right?
And that's a testament to what we were discussing off camera earlier about your decision of where to play ball after high school.
Oh yeah.
Right? Was you using the opportunity
as
opposed to the opportunity taking you and just swallowing you up.
Exactly.
Right.
So I was telling Coco, I said I had the opportunity to go to McGill University, which is kind of like, if you want to put it, I was saying comparisons like Ivy League, like a Harvard, whatever.
Yeah.
Right. And I was registered, everything. I told the coach, I'm not coming. He's like, what? Why? I said, because I'm going to Concordia. He goes, why are you going to Concordia? That's not McGill. You're McGill material.
Right.
And I'm like, Yeah, but they're giving. I'm getting an academic scholarship. I'm getting a bursary. I'm making money going to school at Concordia.
Right.
From a kid who won't have no money, that makes sense to me.
Yeah.
Right. And he's like, oh, it makes no sense. And so Dave actually wrote a letter to the school saying that they were paying me. It was a big controversy.
Wow.
That they had to, to the dean and all that because they had to resolve. But the point is, they couldn't fathom somebody who had the academic, ability to go to their school, not go to their school. Right. So for me, I've looked at it from an actual financial perspective. Does it make sense? It wasn't all about basketball. It wasn't all about basketball.
Yeah,
right. So
you got to start putting on all of your posts and like some throwback ones like LeBron does, like just a kid from Akron. You got to put like just a kid from Burgundy, hashtag just a kid from Burgundy.
Hey.
Oh jeez.
Yeah.
Put on a t-shirt. Put on a t-shirt. Let's go.
Burgundy.
Monetize that. Let's
He'd
go.
be sitting there like his arms folded, watching his
Watching
basketball
Bronny?
team. No, watching his basketball team. Play, and he'd be like just a kid from Burgundy. So I want to switch gears to end this off because I really wanted to discuss the Dave Chappelle special that I don't think anybody watched other than Coco and I, but it was really good. It was the last of 6 Netflix specials that he had. The last 5, he's been flamed for being allegedly transphobic. This one again, he finally continued. Well, not finally, but he continues to address these allegations. And I think...
May I just interject? Yes, he has been called out for being transphobic for the last few specials that he's done.
Yes.
But it has not at all been transgender people in general. That community has not at all been the focal point of any of those stand-ups at all. And, in addition to that, he talked about everybody.
Yeah,
he talked about his people, he talked about other people, he talked literally about
does.
everybody.
Yep.
And it always comes from the same place of like information exchange, and information download, and funny.
Yeah.
All at the same time. So to be clear, these were not specials because I know, and I'm saying this because a lot of the feedback that he gets or the hate he gets back is based on somebody that saw something, that heard from somebody else that saw something.
Yeah, exactly.
Nobody's really actually watching him.
Yeah.
They're not watching one special in entirety. They're definitely not watching his catalog of things in entirety. So, to be clear, he never had a thing that was more focused on transphobia or trans people in general, other than this special.
Yeah.
Which, for me, was...
Yeah, this special is the only one that actually
heart-wrenching and apologetic and, like, I'm one of you.
Yeah, before you play
I just want
it,
to be clear because people don't watch it, so they don't know.
I was gonna read something.
Yeah, I was just gonna say. I think like to your point though is like Chappelle just offers social commentary.
Yes,
like that is what he does.
He wants you to think.
He wants you to think. And any good comedian, I think that's the role they play in society is really to offer that commentary to what we're seeing in society, right? So yeah, I have no issues with what Chappelle says. I'm not taking it for gospel. I'm not taking it for this. I'm just saying he's just saying it as it is, and that's up to you.
To make you think,
to think about it.
So this special focused a whole lot more about his allegations of being transphobic. It focused on a relationship he had, a friendship that he had with somebody who was trans in San Francisco, who he allowed to be an opener for one of his shows because he thought that she was funny. And she absolutely bombed for 45 minutes, he said. But she redeemed herself in some kind of commentary that they had going back and forth on stage where...
When he was on stage,
she was just answering questions that like a lot of us might have about the community and what it's like and all of that stuff. And then apparently she came to his aid on Twitter and when things were going crazy about like these allegations of him being transphobic. And she ended up committing suicide. She jumped off of a rooftop and committed suicide.
This was a transgender woman that had a rapport and a relationship with him over the course of years. And he met her in San Francisco, as Shak was talking about. And she was an audience member, laughing at every joke that he had, including his transgender jokes, because he makes jokes about everyone. She didn't take it personal. Because she was actually a Dave Chappelle fan. And she was a fan to the point of like admiring him and wanting to just like be involved in his aura. And it just so happened that he was in San Francisco playing this small club, as he often does. You never know when he's just going to pop up at small venues all the time, all over wherever he's at. Because he's a true artist. He just wants to pop up and do his thing. It's not about a big stadium every time. It's just, I want to do that. And this happened to be one of those events. Met her, exchanged with her, organically thought she was funny, said, every time I come to San Francisco, you open up, kept that word, and every time she opened up at the first time, it was trash.
Right.
It was trash. She was booed off, basically, and he said she came and sat in the front row right after that. He said, people leave out the back door when they have a bad show, including me. You leave out the back door. She came and sat in the front row. She clapped. She laughed. She had things to say about everything he was saying. You know how you talk back to the TV? She was talking back like that. And he was like, what are you talking? So he started talking back to her. Now it's an exchange and a dialogue. And now he's asking her questions about her community or one of her communities that he's not, well versed in.
Right.
And it was something that no one was well versed in. So everyone appreciated it. And every answer she gave was hilarious. He laughed at it. So I'm saying all that to say there was a rapport. There was a relationship. There was a friendship. That was his point, was like, there was a friendship there, and it had nothing, I don't give a damn who she was dealing with or what she thought was between her legs. Or how she, it had nothing to do. I thought she was funny. And I was like, you my people.
Yeah,
that
exactly.
was the point.
So he brings this story up in depth and all of that. A bunch of other stories, like a couple other stories where he mentions like, his interactions with trans people and all of that. But it didn't matter. Like, I feel like he knew regardless of what happened after he released that special, people were going to say what people were going to say. And guess what? People said what people were going to say. So the National Black Justice Coalition asked Netflix to pull Dave Chappelle's The Closer special over his comments that they deemed as transphobic. Let me read exactly what they said. So they said, it is deeply disappointing that Netflix allowed Dave Chappelle's lazy and hostile transphobia and homophobia to air on its platform. This is what their executive director said. With 2021 on track to being the deadliest year on record for transgender people in the United States, the majority of whom are black transgender people, Netflix should know better. Perpetuating transphobia perpetuates violence. Netflix should immediately pull The Closer from its platform and directly apologize to the transgender community. All of that, based like the background that we gave you, I know you guys still have to see it for yourselves.
For sure.
And you guys have seen the other Netflix specials where Dave Chappelle has included, trans people in his jokes. How do you feel? What expectations do you have for this? Do you believe that there's much merit in this shock and outrage? Don't be scared, guys. They won't come for you. I swear.
I don't know. Cancel culture is real. Cancel culture is...
Well, he said that cancel culture is not real because Twitter's not a real place.
That's a good point. And I think that actually leads into what I was going to say, though. It's like, I think we live in this era where it's cancel culture and people want to just get rid of what they don't agree with or it doesn't offends them or whatever. And unfortunately, that's not the way the world works. Like, things are going to be said, things are going to happen that upset you or offend you, and you can't just get rid of it, right? You know what I mean? You have dialogue around it, right? And figure out, okay, why did it upset you? Why did it offend you? Cool, but we can't just cancel and get rid of things that are uncomfortable or upset us. It should lead, like I said, to more dialogue, more constructive conversation around, well, why does this upset you? What is the issue here? What did Dave actually say that made you so upset? Let's have a conversation around that. And I feel like
a lot of what he was trying to say. He's just trying to
missing.
talk about it. He's trying to have a dialogue. He's trying to meet you eye to eye. He's not trying to talk down on you, or as he mentioned numerous times, they accuse him of punching down at their community. He's not trying to do that. He's trying to talk.
Yeah, you know what, Patrick, you hit it right on the nose. I think, in this day and age, everybody wants to just cancel everybody without really understanding what's really, behind that individual, what their intent was. And sometimes it could be that they don't really understand. right? And it can be honest. It's not, they're not a villain. But we're painted as villains nowadays in this world just based on social media, cancel culture. You do something wrong, right? And all of a sudden, the media is a judge, jury, and at the end of the day, and as long as the media has tried you, that to me is so dangerous because you trying to come back from that, people have lost their careers, their livelihood. People have committed suicide because you know what, the media has put me out to be this person who I'm not, and they can't reconcile with it, right? So we have to understand as people who actually take in the media that we have to give people the benefit of the doubt. We can't just jump on whatever it's. You look at that headline. Oh, okay. You know what? Fuck Dave Chappelle. He's this and that, without truly understanding what really is going on. And I think that's what there's a disservice to the individuals that are out there that are just trying to. And as a comedian, first of all, they have the carte blanche, unfortunately, to make fun of shit. It's just what they do.
That's it.
That's what they do. Yeah. Right? It's not like me as just a regular dude just trying out there and just say shit.
Yeah.
I could get that. You know what? It's a little bit off color.
It's
Maybe you should have done that.
It's not like a global brand has said this joke about trans people.
Right, exactly. It's Dave Chappelle. He's a comedian, and also understanding what type of comedian he is. To what Patrick's point, right? He likes to just make you think.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and that's one thing that he did with in regards to the baby situation, the baby situation, where they canceled him, and he's just like. In what world where, because I don't know if you know, but like the baby, he was in Walmart and somebody tried to rob him and he ended up murdering a guy at Walmart, protecting himself. It's real life. Anybody can Google it.
More of a manslaughter situation, but yes.
You're right. Not murder, manslaughter. He was defending himself, ended up killing him, didn't mean to, whatever. And he's like, in what world is that something that is not public record, something that everybody's fixated on and like, conversing about versus something he said that hurt gay people's feelings. He hurt gay people's feelings, but kill a black man, and it's just like...
well, first of all, you just hit on the nose. Kill the black man. It wasn't a white man. It was just another black dude, which is just some gangster shit, and people just write it off. It's a rapper, whatever, right? But in a big world of scheme of things, you're talking about gay people. And I understand, you know what, at the end of the day, it's very sensitive. We're at the point where we're trying to understand different perspectives. I can't even understand all the different, all the different things that are out there. For sure. Right? And we,
the word you're looking for is pronouns.
I was going to say that, but it is pronouns.
Chappelle said in the other specials, he called them the alphabet people, but I'm not sure if I'm supposed to get canceled if I said that.
No, okay, you cancel me because I don't even understand.
That's funny, and that is not insulting to their experience whatsoever. It is not a stereotype.
Nope.
It is not a lash on something they experience on a daily. That's just a natural, funny thing. Joke. And that was his point is, to quote him, you can kill a nigga, but you can't hurt a gay person's feelings. That is the point.
Yeah. Legit.
And that's outrageous. And his whole point was, I was never talking about y'all, I was talking about me. Right. Y'all just happened to be a part of my experience.
Yeah.
I was talking about a lot of shit. And you know what's crazy is that you basically overtook our experience in a short frame of time. Not to say you didn't experience it as well, but you overtook it in a short frame of time. Yeah. And you did your thing diligently to make sure your community was together and on their shit and they were moving forward. But like, bitch, that was our shit too.
Yeah.
You're even talking like us.
Yeah.
So what are you, like, nobody's mad at you. I'm just saying, why are you mad at me? Because I'm just saying. And that's his point, and I get that. And that's the whole effing point. Shout out to Daphne, rest in peace, by the way.
Rest in peace, Daphne.
Rest in peace, Daphne. Because she killed herself, 6 days after what was deemed her community, the transgender community, drugged her.
Her own community.
Wow.
For being the only person in that community that knew him personally.
Right. Yeah.
That saw every one of his stand-ups. The only one in that community and said, actually, this is what he's saying.
Yeah.
Just so you guys know, because I know you haven't seen it. They drug her. 6 days later, she killed herself. And his last statement, I'm not going to say to you guys because I really want you guys to watch it, but basically, it was like, y'all killed one of my people, bro.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it was all your fault. I'm just saying, like, you didn't help.
For sure.
6 days later?
Yeah, he's like, I'm not sure if that's exactly what it was, but I know it didn't help, for sure.
So that's the whole thing.
Yeah.
But you know what I think it is, looking from a different generation and trying to understand all these pronouns and it's totally new. And I don't think the generation that's trying to push it forward really understands. It's a huge turn and change of mind to try to understand it. I can't keep up the pace.
Pronouns.
And I don't know if I'm wrong or I'm right, and sometimes I'll be wrong. Forgive us for trying to actually understand.
Yeah.
You can't just, cancel us for trying to understand.
Right.
And maybe I say something that's off color, but we're trying to get to that point.
Yeah.
Right? It's a transition. And the power, the problem is the power is in the individuals
There we go.
who actually are very social media savvy.
There we go.
The younger generation.
There we go.
I have a daughter that's 15 years old. She tell me, "Oh, Dad, you can't say that. Oh, no, that's wrong." Right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, what did I do?
Yeah.
I don't even know.
Yeah.
Right? So we have to get to that point. We can't just cancel everybody. Try to understand them, help them along the way.
Educate.
And I think we'll get there.
Yeah. Have dialogue, have conversation. Like that's what we really need to do.
That's what we're doing, and I hope that we can, I hope that this is somebody where they're like, you know what, I never thought about it in that way. I think in terms of even just the financial perspective, I'm really happy we had that conversation. So I want to be really appreciative and give some flowers.
Yeah,
Thank you,
definitely.
Dad,
Appreciate that.
for
Appreciate
joining
that.
us. Let me give you some applause.
Take some
for that.
notes.
I hope people were taking notes, and if you have any questions, please direct all of those questions to @Mr. Alan Cox on Instagram, not me. Not with the hype. Not us. Just now he's now an influencer. of
You
sorts.
are. You're a brand. You're an influencer.
So
Welcome.
thank you for
Financial influencer.
Ooh, dang.
Big
And
responsibility.
this
That's
man
okay.
is very helpful and very nice and very sweet and very patient.
and relatable. He loves
and
Lil Wayne.
relatable.
He loves Lil Wayne.
No.
Didn't he come on? What did he come in on?
Oh, Bands to Make Her Dance. That was
Came
good.
in on
Yeah.
Bands to Make Her Dance, just so you know what type
exactly.
of grown man
There you
you're
go.
dealing
That's
with.
it.
Yeah.
I
So
love it.
yeah,
Proud
thank you for joining us.
Yes,
This has been fun.
Definitely.
The world general speaking.
Yes, you already know what it is. Patrick Dennis Jr. on everything. Follow up. Appreciate it. Love y'all. And yeah.
Yeah, and I'm looking forward
Chop
to
like Shak. You
the
waste
next time we
you,
can
waste
record in
you.
person, whenever that is. It's gonna be a little bit from now.
It'll be a little bit, but
Come to LA sometime soon.
we'll make it happen.
Mr. Allen, you got the freestyle out for us?
Yeah.
You said on camera that you was going to freestyle. So let's go.
Drop it.
I got you on the Atlas.
Hey.
Nothing but tell me no. You don't give us one bar.
Mike's off. No.
That's a nasty bar though. Mike's off.
Mike's off.
I made $2, but I saved one, and I flipped it into 5.
I flipped it into 1.7.
Damn.
Idiots.
I love it. Yes.